Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Woo woo, hump day. So this is your assignment for today since teachers are in meetings. Today, Wednesday, November 8th, we are covering a regular lesson. So this is Unit 4, Lesson 2, and Chapter 34 in your book. So before we get into the new lesson, I want you to grab your history journal. If you have it, if you're using it on your computer, that's fine. Or if you have a piece of paper and a pencil. Remember, I told you a while ago that you should have something for a journal. I want you to write down the questions you see on the screen and then write down the answers that you remember from yesterday's lesson. You can pause the recording while you do that, and when you're finished, come on back and continue. Okay, so now that you remember what we talked about yesterday, here's what we're learning today. We are going to be learning to describe what the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire was. We're going to explore the role of unions in the workplace, compare and contrast the goals of socialists, anarchists, and Samuel Gompers. We're going to learn all about Samuel Gompers. And we're going to recognize the methods that employers used against the workers and the unions back in the early 20th century. All right, so this is a little bit of a review, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. You can follow along while I read. American labor laws lagged far behind those of almost every other industrial nation. Working conditions were often unsafe, factory pay was rarely fair, and workers had few, if any, benefits. In 1900, only one American worker in 12 belonged to a union. Unions were feared by workers as well as managers because many early labor leaders seemed too radical for most Americans. Then, near the turn of the century, a labor leader appeared who was a conservative thinker. No one could accuse Samuel Gompers of being a radical. He used American business methods to organize and negotiate for labor. Okay, so I have a link to a video for you to watch. As you watch the video, I want you to see if you can answer these questions. So if you want to pause my video right now and jot down these questions real quick, or you can just leave them on the screen and number them 1 to 5, however it works for you. But as you listen and watch the video, I want you to see if you can find the answers to these questions. The link to the video I have in the announcements section of your online school because in this recorded message, sometimes the link doesn't work. I am going to put the link in this recording, but if for some reason it doesn't work for you, go to your announcements and grab it from there. So go ahead and watch the video about Samuel Gompers, answer these questions, pause my video, and when you're finished with that, come on back. Okay, so socialists and anarchists led the early stages of the labor movement. They were seen as radical because both groups wanted to change the basic structure of government in the United States. But Samuel Gompers and the American Federation of Labor made the labor movement acceptable to most people. Compare the goals of the AFL and those of the radical anarchists and socialists. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. So who are these radicals? Well, these radicals were the people who were either socialists, who wanted the government to take over most businesses that affected people, like railroads and electric companies and telephones. They thought if the government ran everything, then it would be more fair. And on the opposite side of that, the anarchists, these are the people that didn't want any government at all. They thought the government should disappear and people could just do anything they wanted, that people wouldn't have to follow laws or rules, and they could just go about business however they wanted to. See, but they both want to make these big giant changes and reorganize society in general, and that kind of scared people. So people didn't really go for either one of these things. But then comes along Samuel Gompers. He creates this American Federation of Labor, which focused on one big goal: to improve working conditions in the United States. They didn't want to be in politics. They wanted to stick to the issues that help workers, like hours, pay, and safety. They used strikes to get 8-hour work days. I think that's a typo there. And to come up with safety reforms and the right to collective bargaining. All right, so we're going to talk about what that means a little bit later. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to take a look. If you need to flip back through my slides, I don't know if you can make the recording go backwards, but the slides are also in the module in your online school. So you could open up the slides from today's class and flip back through. But on your paper, I want you to kind of make this little chart. And let's compare and contrast each of these groups. What was the beliefs? What was Gompers' group's beliefs? What were the socialist beliefs? What were the anarchist beliefs? And then maybe draw a line down the center here, and underneath that, put in the bottom how they were different from each other. So go ahead and pause your video, take a couple minutes to see what you can remember, fill out this chart, and then come on back. All right, let's do a quick little review here. Which of the following does this newspaper describe? Take a look. Well, this isn't really a review. I just want you to look at the newspaper and tell what is it describing. A, B, C, or D. All right, what did you say? What did you say? Well, it doesn't really tell us exactly what it is. Looks like there's a fire, and it looks like it tells us how many people died, and why they were trapped, and something like that. So this was kind of a trick question that Mrs. Love gave you. We're going to find out what this is about here in just a minute. Trick question. Sorry about that. Wanted to see if you're paying attention. All right, so here's your graded assignment. You're going to keep on reading. There is in your online school for Unit 4, Lesson 2, if you go in there, there's a file called Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. And it's, I have the slides also in the class slides, but it's about 5 pages. I want you to read about this event, the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. After you finish reading, you're going to go into your regular online school to complete your graded assignment, Unit 4, Lesson 2. But you won't be able to answer the questions until you do this reading. So I want to show you what this looks like so you can find it. When you open up that file, you can go ahead and read through this on your own. Okay, I'm not going to read it to you here. You can read it on your own. If you need help with the reading, you can ask somebody at home to read with you. Okay, but this is called the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. I think the reading is 5 short pages. And when you finish, you're going to go to the online school, complete your graded assignment. Okay, so this file for you to read is listed in your online school under Unit 4, Lesson 2. After you complete the the graded assignment, the only other thing that you have left to do is to work on your guided notes for this chapter 34. And then for tomorrow, I want you to read chapter 35 before tomorrow's class. So, we will have regular class tomorrow at the regular time. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can send me an email, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.